Well, hi everybody. There we go. Oh boy, right off the bat, what a way to start off a live feed here on YouTube on the Joe Rayo Weather Network or the Joe Rayo Weather Channel here on YouTube. Hello to all of you. This Wednesday happens to be the only day in the calendar where we can not only give you a date but also a declarative sentence. March 4th. Yes, and we're marching forth here with the latest update radar wise. I'm going to just move the camera ever so slightly there so that you all can get a good view of the Northeast. And you can see that we do have some showers on the radar, a little batch that's just located to the west of New Jersey, and another area that is moving across west central Pennsylvania. These areas of showers are going to be with us during the course of the first half of tonight. So, and there's nothing like what we had last evening. Last evening, we were talking about the possibility of some heavy downpours and some lightning and thunder. Those of you who were in the immediate New York area and especially across Long Island may very well have seen that. We didn't see too much of that up here in the lower Hudson Valley. We did get a little wet, and we're going to get a little wet this evening, it would appear. These showers will hold through. There's actually, as you could see, two batches. So this first band here probably will be making its way into and through the Hudson Valley region. Well, already, if you're watching us around Port Jervis and western sections of Orange County, you may have already seen a little bit of activity there already. But for much of the Hudson Valley, probably in the next 1 to 2 hours, we're doing this now at 10 minutes after 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday, March the 4th. So between now and let's say about 7 o'clock, a few showers rolling on through. And then this batch will be probably moving on in a bit later. If we use the famous or infamous Alan Casper Pittsburgh rule, and the Pittsburgh rule is that anything that's in the vicinity of Pittsburgh takes about 8 hours to reach the tri state area. This looks like it's about, I would say, 5 hours away? So maybe we'll get a second round of showers moving through along about 9, 10, 11 o'clock tonight. And then behind all of that, there's not much to be seen. Everything is dry behind this mid-level disturbance. So once it moves on through, we should go into a clearing trend later tonight after midnight. It will be a chillier night tonight as opposed to recent nights. We've had the last 2 or 3 nights incredibly balmy temperatures, readings mostly in the mid 40s by daybreak and mainly in the 40s to near 50 in the hours before midnight. Not so tonight. Tonight it'll be noticeably cooler or chillier. And when you get up tomorrow morning, some of you, especially the valley spots, will be in the, let's say, 32, 33-degree range, right around freezing. Meantime, other areas will be in the mid 30s. So it'll be a chillier night as compared to what we have been going through, what we've been seeing over the last few nights. Now, let's talk about what is ahead of us for the coming days ahead. I move the rather roughly. Again, I apologize for the movement here. This is all news for us here. We're finally showing you, as we have been promising, some graphics. And these graphics coming to us courtesy of Tropical Tidbits, Levi Cohen, the person who put this wonderful website together. And I don't even know, I can't even think about going back to what we used to use. Nothing against the government with their weather graphics, but my goodness, this is so much easier to make out and see what is happening on Levi Cohen's Tropical Tidbits weather page. If you want to see it for yourself, just go to www.tropicaltidbits.com. And this is the section analysis and models. And this particular model that you see now before you is the GFS. This is from 12Z. The 18Z model run is coming out right now, but I'm not into showing the 18Z. First of all, the 18Z is going to take a little while to complete, going all the way out to 15 or 16 days, 384 hours. But the other thing is I'm not really too trustworthy of the so-called intermediate weather progs, the 6Z and the 18Z progs. This is the primary run of the GFS, the 12Z run from this morning. And this pretty much will give you a good idea as to what is happening. Right now, what you're seeing on your screen is the GFS map for 18Z or 1 o'clock this afternoon. If few hours ago across the northeastern United States. Now we're going to move things forward here. And as we do, you can see that the GFS is indeed beginning to pick up on those areas of showers that we had on the radar a little while ago, making its way into the immediate tri-state metropolitan area. Again, probably sometime this evening, say after 7 o'clock tonight. And as we move things forward a little bit more, you can see that we do have showers around at 6Z. This is actually, I said that we'd probably be done with this by about midnight. This is 1 o'clock in the morning, still showing some precip. But I personally believe that most, if not all of this, is going to be gone by midnight. You can see further to the north and west, that lighter shade of blue is light snow over parts of northeastern Pennsylvania and on into the, if I may use the term, the leather stocking region of central New York. Not going to amount to very much, just some snow, light snow or flurry activity. And as you can see, by the time we get to 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, it's all gone. And in fact, probably when you wake up at 7 a.m., we're going to have skies that are verging on mainly sunny, maybe some leftover or lingering clouds, but with high pressure building in to the area from the west, we're looking for lots and lots of sunshine. Tomorrow should be a very nice day, less harsh. And those winds have been really busy the last 24 hours, but the winds will calm out tonight. And then tomorrow, with the west-northwesterlies at around 5 to 10 miles an hour, we're looking for lots of sunshine, mostly sunny skies. And here in the lower Hudson Valley, temperatures between 47 and 55 degrees. As we continue into tomorrow, we'll have lots of sunshine. Tomorrow evening, probably after darkness falls, we'll see increasing thickening cloudiness, and it will be a bit chillier tomorrow night as compared to tonight, with lows by the time we get to Friday morning somewhere as low as sub-freezing, 28 degrees in some of the valley spots north and west, to 37 for coastal and urban locations. Now, what we're looking at for Friday is a coastal storm that, for the most part, will just give us a glancing blow. As we see, 7 o'clock in the morning on Friday. Whoops, what happened there? We moved that off a little bit. All right, here we go. We're back again. I try to do two things at once, and again, we knocked the camera off view or off screen. I'm so excited about the possibility of a coastal storm, right? All right, so let's talk about that potential coastal threat. We do have a system that is going to be down to our south and east when we get to Friday morning, and this system looks like, for the most part, it is going to pass off to our south and east and just give us just a glancing blow. The storm system, here's the New York metropolitan area, of course, and the storm is going to be off to our south. I'm not sure if it's picking up on the camera here, but it's down, I would say, about 300 miles southeast of New York. That system is going to be tracking away to the north and east. Now, the storm is going to be intensifying. There's actually two systems to watch: a coastal storm, a coastal offshore system off to our south and east, but there's also an upper level system that's swinging around to our north. This upper system and this coastal system are eventually going to, as we say in the business, teleconnect. They're going to connect, they're going to coalesce. This system, once it gets the energy from this northern stream system, will become a very potent storm. In fact, that's going to probably happen along about, let's say 7 o'clock on Friday evening. There you see the storm. But notice, if you will, that, as I said, we're just going to be on the northern fringe of this system. So all we're going to see from it is just some glancing showers here, probably during the afternoon on Friday and continuing into part of Friday evening. Now, the blue, of course, indicates snow. It would not be at all surprising, not necessarily during Friday afternoon, but Friday evening, it would not be surprising if some of that shower activity began to mix with some wet snow. And there's even the possibility that if this thing were to intensify fast enough, it might even set up a very narrow and localized band of wet snow across parts of the tri-state area. But that's too soon in the ball game to anticipate. In such a situation, maybe, and I underscore that word, maybe, we might see some places see a quickie slushy inch, but I'm not even going to go for that right now. This is 1 o'clock on Saturday morning, just after midnight, and you can see that we do have here in the lower Hudson Valley a blend of kind of blues and greens. So maybe a blend of wet snow or rain showers mixing with wet snow or changing over to wet snow. This does not look like a significant or major event in terms of precipitation. If I just move the camera over a little bit so that you can see here, here is the storm really revving up now. Where is that? That is indicative of, I believe that's 969. At 969 millibar low, we're talking about something on the order of about 28.5 or 28.6 inches of mercury here. A very, very potent storm system. But again, it revs up and gets strong, too strong, a little bit too late in the ball game to be a major threat for us. We again will just see the cusp or the northern or peripheral fringe of that storm later on Friday and into Friday night. Again, let me stress that this looks like a system that will be bringing us just a bit of rain or shower activity Friday afternoon, maybe mixing with some wet snowflakes or changing to wet snow during the evening hours of Friday night before it ends, sometime around or soon after midnight, late Friday night. Temperatures on Friday will be in the low and mid 40s, and we're looking for temperatures to drop into the sub-freezing category, below freezing, when we get on into the day on Friday night and early Saturday. I'm trying to make the camera. I cannot see what's going on here, unfortunately, but I do believe I dropped the camera enough so that you were able to get a better view as to what is going on the maps here. I'm going to move the maps quickly forward now. Here it comes Saturday for you. Saturday looks like a day where we'll start with some cloud cover, maybe a little bit of cloudiness, but I think for the most part, increasing sunshine. Lots of sunshine, a bit of a breeze blowing, a gusty breeze out of northerly direction. The winds on Friday are going to be from the east. The winds on Saturday will shift over into a northerly or northwesterly direction, pick up. We may see some gusts on Saturday, upwards to about 20, 25, maybe even 30 miles an hour. But the winds will be brisk. It will be a day where we'll have temperatures on Saturday mostly in the lower and middle 40s, and it should break out again into a mainly sunny condition after an early start of some leftover or lingering clouds from that offshore storm, which rapidly will be pulling away. Sunday will be a nice day. In fact, take a look. Sunday, we're having a zone of high pressure build right over the mid-Atlantic region, a 1035 high, a pretty strong high, much less wind, and temperatures on Sunday are going to jump right on back up. We're looking for temperatures to be seasonably mild, unseasonably mild, in fact, on Sunday. The normal high in the early part of March for the lower Hudson Valley should be around 46 degrees, or if you want to put a range on this, 43 to 48. Temperatures on Sunday are expected to be, I think, somewhere between 52 and 57 degrees. And if you like those numbers, you're going to like Monday. Monday, as that high builds offshore, we're looking for a more southwesterly component of the wind to blow. And with that southwesterly wind blowing, we're looking for a fair amount of sunshine on Monday, mostly sunny, and a high temperature on Monday. Are you ready? 57 to 62 degrees. Very, very nice to kick off the start of next week. So the weekend starts off brisk and chilly with temps in the mid and low 40s and increasing sunshine on Saturday. Lots of sunshine, less wind on Sunday. Temperatures reaching into the mid and upper 50s and probably at or around 60, maybe even lower 60s in the lower Hudson Valley when we get to Monday of next week. Now, as far as the next round of precipitation is concerned, we're looking for that to arrive, but not until probably later on Tuesday. Here we go for Monday evening. Probably will begin to cloud up. Tuesday in the early hours of the morning, and then on Tuesday itself, well, the GFS is a little on the quick side. I personally think that we're probably going to see some showers here Tuesday afternoon. We may see a shower or two on Tuesday morning, but I think the bulk of the precipitation on Tuesday comes in the afternoon hours. Another mild one on Tuesday as a cold front approaches with readings, in spite of the clouds and in spite of the threat of precipitation, reaching up into the 50s again. And this GFS is indicating that most of the precip is going to be ending during the afternoon hours on Tuesday. But again, I think that things are going to be a little bit slower, and probably we're going to see at least midday into early afternoon Tuesday, some wet weather. That'll be our next chance for any precipitation. Now I have a bit of a little, a little bit of a laugh in my throat here because I want to show you as we move along toward Wednesday. Here's Wednesday should be a day with some sunshine, few clouds. Temperatures on Wednesday will cool back into the upper 40s. And now, if you're ready for what the GFS, and now this is 8 days away, folks, but here is what the GFS is suggesting for next Thursday, a week from tomorrow. This is for Wednesday evening of next week. This is for, are you looking at this, folks? This is for 1 a.m. on Thursday morning. And here we go with Thursday morning of a week from tomorrow. A storm system moving off the mid-Atlantic coast and bringing us, wow, look at that. Ha, ha. Yeah, those of you who have been waiting for snow, are you going to believe this? I don't believe it. You know, how many times have we seen either the GFS or especially the European model 7 and 8 days in advance promise us a significant or even a substantial snowfall, and when we actually get to the event, when it arrives, all those days later, it just shrivels up like nothing. Do you believe this? If you're a snow lover, I suppose you've got your fingers crossed, and this is going to happen. This would be the first significant snow threat for the tri-state area, going back to that system that hit us on that weekend in January. I think it was the 19th in January. We didn't have anything like this in February, but this supposedly for the 12th of March shows a storm system off of the Delmarva Peninsula. Lots of heavy rain over the waters and cold enough, apparently, with northeasterly winds to provide a significant snowfall for much of the tri-state region when we get to Thursday afternoon of next week. But again, a warning, 8 days out. And we've seen this so many times this winter season where we were promised a major storm 7 and 8 and 9 days out, and it ended up being nothing. So if you want to hang your hat on this particular GFS solution for 8 days from now as the potential for a snowstorm, be my guest if you want to believe it. And this looks like quite a system. I didn't even take a look as to what the projected snow amounts would be with something like this. Again, this is Thursday morning, 1 o'clock Thursday afternoon. This is March the 12th now. This is Thursday evening, 7 o'clock. Still snowing as of midnight or 1 a.m. on Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th, a week from this Friday, and still snowing as of Friday the 13th. In fact, this is quite a storm, this system that is being projected. And in fact, would you like to see, just for the heck of it, and Chappie and I always tell all of you, don't really hang your hat, again, on systems like our 7, 8, 9 days in advance, but also don't hang your hat on, as good as these Levi Cohen's projection and use of these computer models, you really should not look at the 24-hour or the snowfall, the positive snow depth projections. But I'm going to do that just for the heck of it. Just for the heck of it. Well, let's take a look and see what this supposed storm would bring us if indeed you want to believe all of this at face value. 1 inch already, 1 or 2 inches in the Hudson Valley as of midnight, a week from tomorrow night. Midnight, early Thursday morning, the 12th of March. Then already we got 6 inches. You see that number? Look at that. That's why you wake up on Thursday morning, the 12th of March, and you wake up here in the Hudson Valley to 6 inches of snow. Ha! And then we move ahead. Oh, dear me. Well, I'll tell you what. You want to make up for all of this lack of any snow, folks? This is suggesting 15 inches of snow over a part of Rockland County, 11 inches up in Dutchess County, 12 inches in southwestern Connecticut, 14 inches near the New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey border, right over the border in northeast Pennsylvania in the Poconos. But apparently we're not done with this yet. 21 inches of snow, 21 inches here, 18, 14, 17. Again, please don't. Is anything else? 22 inches. 20. All right. So much for that. I almost wish I didn't even show this to you, but that is that is the projection for the GFS for 8 days from now. Now, why is the GFS doing this? What in the world is enticing the GFS to show this type of a weather pattern? All right, let's uh, let's move things over here again and show you the the uh, upper air situation regarding what we're looking at for next week. Actually, we're starting out right now on this Wednesday morning, showing you the flow, a relatively fast flow with a west northwesterly wind. And as we continue to move along, you could see that that ridge, as I said, of high pressure builds in, providing us with a lovely day tomorrow. Beautiful day tomorrow out there. Sunshine, and again, temperatures tomorrow 47 to 55 degrees. All right, let's continue. By the way, before I continue here with this, let me also tell you I have not had a chance to look at the chat board because from this perspective, from the way I'm doing this, I can't yet see the chat board or any of your questions. If you've been asking me a question or if you've been making comments, I have not been able to see them yet because, again, by the way things are set up for me here, I can't see it. But we will get to that chat board in a very few moments once I finish out the uh, uh, progression of the maps here. So high pressure bringing us a nice day for tomorrow. Lovely day, 47 to 55, lots of sunshine out there, and less harsh. We won't have as much wind as what we've had here during the course of the day and the last couple of days. Then, as this upper level system, now that, again, we have two systems that we're watching. We have a southern stream system that is moving out off the mid Atlantic coast and out to sea. This is the system with all of the energy that will be dropping in through the Great Lakes and into the Northeast. Notice, if you will, this short wave begins to sharpen up a bit as it captures that storm, that system that's offshore. And now, take a look as that upper level system, this trough moves on through come uh, Friday late into Friday night, it begins to sharpen even more so. That storm is about here, the upper level system coalescing with that storm, and really that system begins to rev up in response to that. It's like injecting atmospheric steroids into that offshore storm, and that's why it's going to become very strong, very fast. It's a closed system by the time we get to 1 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, but the system is already moving away, moving out and away from our area. Take a look at this. The winds coming down straight out of the north. And as I said, Saturday is going to be a rather gusty day out there with temperatures probably holding mostly in the low and mid 40s and the winds probably making it feel all the colder. Look at that airflow coming from central Canada, from James Bay and straight on down and into our area. That's the upper level winds from the north. The surface winds will probably be from the north-northwest. So I suspect it's going to be a gusty and chilly day with a gradual progression toward increasing sunshine during the day on Saturday. But Saturday's temperatures probably no better than the mid or even the lower 40s, despite the increasing sun. Then, as we move into Sunday and early next week, notice high pressure ridge building across the Great Lakes. And as we move into Sunday, that ridge of high pressure builds in and brings us that delightful day on Sunday. Lots of sunshine, beautiful day coming up on Sunday. Hey, by the way, those of you in the lower Hudson Valley, Mahopac, or is it Mahopac, is going to have their St. Patrick's Day parade on Sunday. Now, I got to tell you something. If they had the parade on Saturday, I would not think it would be very nice to try and parade with temps in the 40s and wind chills in the 30s and a gusty, blustery wind of 15, 20, maybe even 25 or 30 miles an hour. But that's Saturday. Sunday, high pressure building in, the ridge of high pressure builds in, much milder temperatures, readings on Sunday in the mid 50s with lots of sunshine. So it looks like a beautiful day for a parade on Sunday in Mahopac, or is it Mahopac? My Uncle Ron lived in Mahopac or Mahopac for about 30 years, and we always had this conversation. What is the correct way? The Indians, the Native Americans who lived there, I think pronounced it Mahopac, but a lot of people pronounce it Mahopac. That's the way my Uncle Ron used to pronounce it, and that's the way I pronounce it for the most part as well. Anyway, high pressure building in. Great looking day on Sunday. Beautiful day on Monday. Look at that ridge really taking over and bringing us some great weather on Monday. as well. Then we move on into Tuesday. The next system builds in a little trough of low pressure, as you can see up here. That's going to touch off the wet weather, the rainy or showery weather that we'll have on Tuesday. So that's our next chance of precipitation. But in spite of that, Monday, near 60 or low 60s. Tuesday, in spite of the cloud cover and in spite of the chance for some wet weather, temperatures still mostly in the 50s. And then we come on into Wednesday, that dome of high pressure offshore. The ridge now is being suppressed by a new shortwave, a new upper level system. Here we go, folks. Now, the 21-inch or 22-inch snowstorm on Thursday, a week from tomorrow, based upon the GFS. How does the GFS get this? Well, you see that trough, that upper level system beginning to dig in across the Great Lakes. And as we move on now into, oh my goodness, look at this. It is really digging, and digging so much that it actually causes a cutoff low over southwestern Pennsylvania and West Virginia and northern Virginia by the time we get to Thursday morning of next week. And bang, that cutoff system, that's actually a multi-cutoff, a two cutoff system, boom and boom, right here over the Delmarva for 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Thursday, the 12th of March, and then just a complete cutoff system. This is really cuts off. How many contours is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A 5 contour cutoff low on late Thursday, the 12th of March, and this is what supposedly is going to bring a heavy-duty snowstorm to the Northeast. Again, do you believe it? Would you believe it? If you're a snow lover, you're probably getting on your knees now and looking to the sky and saying, please, just this one storm, just give us something to be happy about for this non-snow winter. Well, we'll see how this all pans out. But I tell you now, this is 8 days in advance, and a lot of stuff that has been shown on longer range charts and models 7, 8, 9 days in advance never, ever come to pass, or have not come to pass this winter season. Nice to think about if you're a snow lover, nice to dream about a 5 contour cutoff low. You don't see that very often, but if this pans out, this will be a storm that will make up for everything that all of you snow lovers have lost out on. Look at this. Look at this system. I mean, my goodness, for 1 a.m. on Friday the 13th, what do we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is ridiculous. 8, an 8 contour cutoff. This is what, a 5. The center's like a height of like 527, 520. Rarely do you ever see something like this. I mean, my goodness, if this comes to pass, this would go down as one of the great storms of all time. And coming, by the way, on the, what is this? It's 2020, right? It's year 2020 minus 1888. This would be the 132nd anniversary. And what a way to celebrate the 132nd anniversary of the blizzard of 88, if this were to come to pass. Again, don't hang your hat on this. Don't set this in concrete just yet, because I don't think it's going to happen, quite frankly. The things are going to change. In fact, why don't we, for the heck of it, let's take a look and see. That was the GFS. The GFS was calling for that for next week. Let's see what the European is suggesting. I'm going to jump ahead here. I just want to see what the GFS is calling for next week. All right, this is this is the European now for Saturday. There's the big storm that will pass us by on Saturday. Again, this is the European model. You see that cutoff low out to sea, passing us by, and giving us the European, bringing that gusty cold wind in here for Saturday. So both models agree there. There's that big, beautiful fair weather ridge of high pressure that builds in for Sunday, bringing us a lovely second half of the weekend. And for Monday as well, beautiful day there. And then we go to Tuesday of next week. The European, unlike the GFS, comes in 24-hour segments here. So we jump 24 hours. 24 hours. This is Tuesday of the 10th of March, next Tuesday. This is Wednesday. All right, are you ready? Let's take a look at Thursday of next week. What happened? Thursday, European. This is for the 12th of March, a week from now, and the European shows nothing remotely resembling what the GFS had. So you want to talk about two models that are diametrically opposite to each other. This is it. Let's see what they have for Friday. All right, on Friday, excuse me. On Friday, the European shows a trough of low pressure right here, but certainly nothing to compare with the closed multi-contoured cutoff low that the GFS is showing. This, in fact, seems to suggest more of what we've been seeing for much of this year, kind of a wet weather or showery weather pattern rather than flaky weather pattern for the end of next week. And then on Saturday, the 14th of March, it looks like right now what the European is doing, we go back here, the European is suggesting that this system is going to indeed sharpen up and deepen, but the European is a lot slower, much slower than what the GFS is saying. So as a result of that, it is suggesting that this thing gets its act together, but pretty much after it passes us by on Friday the 13th and Saturday the 14th. In fact, by Saturday the 14th, if you want to believe the European at face value, this is as far out as it goes, 240 hours, 10 days out. Another big ridge of high pressure and fair weather building in, possibly bringing us another nice weekend. Although this system right here, another little cutoff moving through the Midwest, that may have a say in our weather. But that's a couple of weekends from now. So we'll see how this all pans out. Again, I have to laugh at what the GFS is suggesting for a week from tomorrow on into Friday the 13th. Now, your screen is going to go black in a moment. In fact, it's going to go black right now as I set the page up for me to come on camera. And by doing that, I'll be able also to see the chat board and also be able to answer some of your questions. I'm going to get rid of this and that and this and that and bring the chat board up here. There we go. Here we go. And ready? Ta-da! Here he is. Oh boy. I hope by the way that you don't mind that little bit of a blackness, and I apologize for the I have my camera is now set up on a little tripod, and the stand it's not a rickety tripod. It's just I have to watch out sometimes when I try to move things along here, move things around, that I bump the tripod to such a degree that we have these little accidents from time to time. All right, let's take a look and see who's on the chat board. We have Cliff Newton here, and Dennis Cassia, Steve LaPont, Danny Nunkamar. Let's see, who else is here? Timothy Veltman. Of course, I always expect Timothy to be around. Steve LaPont, as I said. And Joe, we can only see the New York, Pennsylvania border northward. I suspected that, and that's why I moved the camera around. On camera, you're showing mass. All right. I apologize. I'll try to be a little bit better in directing this camera so that it can be seen to show the graphics here a little bit better. All right. So let's see. Those dark blues would be 3 to 5 inches per hour. All right. We're talking about that system coming our way for next Thursday and Friday, according to the GFS. Right now, record is 27.5 inches, according to Steve LaPont, in January 2016, and that was the only snowstorm that whole year. It'll either be gone or over upstate New York by this time tomorrow on the models. Tim, you might be right, but again, this will be interesting. I mean, to show such a system that is literally like a hole in the atmosphere for next week, one that you rarely, a kind of system that you rarely ever see and rarely ever verifies to that degree. But we'll see what happens. But again, 7, 8, 9 days in advance, and we've seen this happen so often. All these storm systems never really rev up and come to pass. Now, what we have here is a difference between the GFS, which is rapidly deepening that system for late next week, and the European, which is somewhat showing the same thing, but much, much slower in deepening, and showing the real deepening happening after the system passes on by to our east. So we'll see. Right now on the chat board, the upper air was wrong for today. Temperatures were in the low 50s. That, according to Steve LaPont. That is the anniversary of Superstorm 93. Right, the anniversary of Superstorm 93 and also the anniversary of the blizzard of 1888. But as Michael Azera says, I don't think it'll happen either, but it all gives us a good laugh. Certainly gave me a good laugh when I saw it earlier today. We have here Fedor has his place on the chat board. How are you? Michael Azera, as I said. Steve LaPont, Joe Chiappi says he will probably do a Joe and Joe show Friday because he has something to do tomorrow too. So doesn't look like we're going to be doing any Joe and Joes tonight, and maybe nothing tomorrow night, but maybe Friday. I don't know. Joe hasn't given me a chance to. Haven't chatted with him except for a brief touch base with last night. Let's see who else is on the chat board here. But even with this ridge, we'll only be 10 degrees below average. But you know what? If we were to get that next week, if we were to get something as dynamic as that, certainly intensity, and there was certainly a lot of intensity showing up on those maps for 8 or 9 days from now, would be enough to have mostly snow. But again, this is crazy. It's not even. It's kind of silly even to just talk about it. But I hope all of you did get a good laugh out of what we showed you with that map. Don't mind that. That's my phone. And I don't know who's on, but whatever. All right. Somebody wrote insanely great. Yeah, Theodore wrote that. Anyway, let's see. Checking out a few more people here. John Trablacino, beautiful weather. And Scott Briller. Hi, Scott. A little late. But Scott just joining us here, and you're probably already aware, Scott, of the craziness that the GFS model is supposedly calling for 8 or 9 days from now. But we'll see. We'll just see how this all pans out. In the interim, we are going to close it down now. I see, I didn't call this a short fused update because now that I have maps to talk about, maps to show all of you, this is far from being a short fused update. This, in fact, has run now 37 minutes and 21 seconds. I can see it's almost like a Chiappi-sized discussion here. If you have not already, please subscribe to Joe Rayo Weather on my YouTube channel. Spread the word if you haven't already done so. We're trying to shoot for that magic 1,000 subscriber mark, and we're about 640 subscribers right now. I know we're probably going to get a lot more if we get more active weather in here. And hopefully that will happen in the days to come, but not overly active like what we are seeing from the GFS point of view for later next week. Once again, let me do a quick summation here. This evening, between about 7 o'clock and midnight, a few widely scattered showers around. We get on into after midnight, skies should clear. Tomorrow, a nice day, developing increasing sunshine, less wind, temperatures reaching into the upper 40s and low to mid 50s. We get to Friday, cloudy, mid 40s, low 40s, showers Friday afternoon into Friday evening, possibly later Friday or Friday evening, may mix with or even change to some flakes of wet snow. Nothing significant, at least from this point of view right now, to look at for later Friday and Friday evening. We shall see, but I'm not impressed with what's going to happen. A gusty wind returning for Saturday, a day of sunshine developing, a day of temperatures in the mid and low 40s, a day on Saturday where wind chills will probably be in the 30s, and then beautiful weather for Sunday, beautiful weather for Monday, lots of sunshine for those 2 days with temps soaring through the 50s, probably at or above 60 for Monday. Then we cloud up and see some wet weather for Tuesday, dry out for Wednesday, and who the heck knows for Thursday into Friday. The snow lovers are doing their snow dance, hoping that the GFS is right, because if it's right, we're going to have a storm to make up for all that we've already lost in terms of snow this season. But more than likely, we're not going to see what is being depicted 7, 8, 9 days in advance, because as we've seen so often this winter season, a lot of what is projected in the long term usually falls apart in the mid and short term. We shall see. Anyway, that's our Wednesday discussion. Certainly hope all of you enjoyed it. Certainly hope all of you will tune in tomorrow for more. We'll see how the GFS fares with this potential system for late next week. in tomorrow. May very well be even gone by tomorrow. We'll see. You make it a good Wednesday, a great March 4th, everybody. March 4th indeed. And we'll see you again tomorrow on Thursday, the 5th of March. Oh, and one last thing. Don't forget this is the weekend. Set the clock ahead 1 hour as we go to daylight savings time. We'll have more reminders on that later on during this week. Anything else from anybody? Not really much. Daniello, Evangelista. Oh no, I am late. Well, you missed out. But we'll. I'm going to post this on my Facebook page. So if you missed out on any of this, you can see it on Facebook. You can also see it again on YouTube. Again on my Joe Rayo weather page on YouTube. Make it a good one, everybody. We'll see you again tomorrow. Have a good one.